In this video, we're going to take a look at how to add holes into the top piece of your Automata box. This is where, at a certain point, you end up having to make some decisions about what kind of design that you want to create. So with this, with the different holes that are available, typically you can get about 4 or 5 holes in the top of the box. We also want to make sure that they are centered directly over the axle when we make them. So whether we are modeling this and when we actually prototype your automata as well. So first off, I'm going to activate the component, the box top. And now that I've got this activated, I'm just going to create a new sketch or create sketch, and I'm going to choose the top portion of the box. So this allows me to have the origin there. I'm going to use create point, and off of the origin I'm just going to click. I'm going to create just 2 holes here just for demonstration, and with this I'm going to dimension them. So from the origin to the left point here, let's make it 1.5, let's say, from the origin, and we'll do the same on the other side. And in order to fully constrain these points to get them to show up as black, I need to horizontally and vertically constrain them to the origin. So I'll choose both points and do that to the origin. I'm going to go ahead and finish the sketch. And with this, I'm going to go ahead and choose the hole command. When I do the hole command, I can go ahead and select both of my points. I can actually select the origin as well. So I'll go ahead and just do 3 holes here just for the sake of demonstration. These are all going to be through all holes. Now the only issue is you can see it's going to automatically pick up some of the others. So I may have to go through and watch those different portions. However, it is going to be a simple hole. The diameter on all these will be 1/2 inch. And with this, the distance, you may need to say, instead of all, 2, and I'm just going to click, I'm going to rotate my model, and I'm going to click the underneath side of the top of the box. And then that way it stops right there, and I'll say OK. All right, so now I have 3 holes here. Again, it depends on how many items you want on the top. You can always come back and edit these if you need, get rid of some, add some, however that may be by editing the box top. So I'm going to go ahead and activate the top level, the assembly. Now they're ready to go, and I can start to model what would be the follower guides. So now that I've got the top portion here, I'm going to say new component, and in this we'll call this the follower guide. I'll say OK. And with this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a new sketch. This one here, I'm going to reference off of the top portion of the top piece of the box. And with this, I can go ahead and create. I'm just going to do 1 for right now. I'm going to create a center diameter circle. I'm going to do off of this left hole. And this is going to be a diameter of 0.5. And actually, for tolerance reasons, we're going to go 0.49. So 0.49. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish the sketch. I'm going to hit extrude, selecting that circle, and I'm going to extrude down, and this is going to be a 3/16 depth. So negative 3/16 to stick down into the hole, and I'm going to go ahead and say OK. From here, I'm going to go ahead and create a new sketch on top of that cylinder that I just created, and utilizing a center diameter circle. This one here, we did 0.5. This is going to be a 0.75 here on the top. And I'm going to say finish sketch. Now this is going to be a lofted part, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, under construct, I'm going to select offset plane from the top face here. The offset for this is going to be 1 inch. And then for the next part, when I create this new sketch, I'm going to select the offset plane. Still referencing this geometry, it's going to taper up, and off the center, this is going to be 0.5. I can go ahead and finish the sketch, clicking on the home button. I can then go through and choose loft. I'm going to choose on the bottom the outer ring and the center ring. And then for the second sketch, choosing the top. And I'm just going to go ahead and say OK. So there's one of my follower guides into place. And then I can go ahead and create a new sketch off the top. I'm going to choose the center rectangle. And kind of just touching the circle, again, not clicking. I can find the center. And for me, I like to utilize the 1/4 inch stock for this. So I'm going to make this a size of 0.28 by 0.28. So this is going to allow for a clearance fit. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say finish the sketch. And then I'm going to extrude that, and it's going to be cut. I'm going to move downward, and I'm going to click the bottom of the follower guide, and I'm going to say OK. And that's going to put our follower guide into place for us. So I can go ahead and activate the top level of the part. I'm going to do a as-built joint and as-built joint. Do rigid. I'm going to select the follower guide and the top piece and say OK, and that way it cannot move. So, and that's going to be what we're working on. We can always change the appearance if we need. Maybe for the top portions here, follower guides, I'll throw on green for the follower guide. Now, what I can do here is I can do the move copy command. I'm going to move copy components. I'm going to select the follower guide here. You can see there's a lot of different points. Let me see if I can grab this one. I'm going to create a copy, and then I'm going to move this over. Let's see if I can. So it's maybe not going to quite be in the quite placement that we needed. Mathematically, you could figure it out, but I think for what right now, we'll just say OK. I'll create another one here. I'm going to select this component, create a copy, and I'm going to go ahead and add this one down. Now, in order to do this, I can always, again, drag these out of here, and I can always use the regular joint command for these that are not automatically referenced. So here I'll just joint. I'm going to choose this upper ring right up here, right underneath the bottom, and I'm going to choose this one. That way they're rigidly jointed. Same thing on this one here, joint, select this ring, and select the top of the hole. And we'll say OK. All right, and for now, we'll finish off with the follower guides. So now we have all those into place, and now we're ready to, in the next video, we'll take a look at the follower guides and the rollers and look at how we can go through and use those later on.